Have you ever achieved something you thought would make you happy, only to feel strangely empty the moment you held it in your hands? What if success without purpose is nothing more than a beautifully wrapped box, dazzling on the outside but hollow within? And what if the true fire that sustains your journey through both triumphs and trials has nothing to do with status or wealth, but everything to do with purpose? We embark on a journey deeper than material success. It is a journey into the invisible engine that drives every choice, every dream, and every moment of resilience in your life, your purpose. Together, we will explore why purpose is more than just a lofty ideal. It is the lifeline that prevents us from drifting in emptiness, the compass that steers us when storms threaten to pull us off course, and the inner flame that transforms ordinary days into sacred steps of meaning. Now, let us step forward into the story of purpose, the story that may just awaken the deepest part of you. Chapter 1. When life feels empty despite success, it often begins with a quiet unease. You've climbed the ladder, step by step. You've reached the top of a mountain that once looked impossible. People look at you with admiration, even envy. They see your accomplishments, your possessions, your accolades. They assume you must be fulfilled. But deep inside, a question whispers when the applause fades. Is this all there is? Many people arrive at this moment in their lives. They've built careers, gathered wealth, or achieved dreams that once seemed like the pinnacle of success. Yet instead of joy, they are surprised to feel a strange emptiness, as though they were chasing a horizon that kept moving further away, the closer they came. This emptiness doesn't always shout. Sometimes it hides beneath busyness, beneath routines and responsibilities. You may fill your calendar, chase the next project, or distract yourself with noise, but late at night, when silence falls, you feel it pressing in. A gap, a hunger, something missing. And perhaps you've asked yourself, why do I feel this way when I've achieved so much? The truth is simple yet profound. Success without purpose can never satisfy the soul. You see, achievement alone, no matter how dazzling, cannot answer the deeper question of why without purpose. Even the most glittering milestones lose their shine without purpose. Success is like drinking salt water. It looks refreshing. It may quench for a moment, but it leaves you thirstier than before. I want you to imagine someone who wins the race, standing at the finish line with the medal in hand, but realizing that it wasn't the race they truly wanted to run. The applause fades, the lights dim, and the victory feels strangely hollow. That is what life becomes when we pursue goals disconnected from our deeper purpose, and yet, this emptiness is not a curse, it is a signal. It is your soul tugging at your sleeve, whispering, there is more to life than this. There is meaning. Beyond the surface, keep searching. This quiet dissatisfaction, uncomfortable as it is, can become the first doorway to awakening. It pushes you to look deeper, to question, to seek. And in that seeking, you may stumble upon the greatest treasure of all, not more success, but true purpose. Chapter 2. The universal hunger for meaning. If you pause long enough to listen, you will notice a deep craving that runs through all of humanity. It is the hunger for meaning. This hunger is universal. It does not matter where you are born, what language you speak, or what traditions you follow. Beneath every culture, behind every ambition, there lies the same question, whispered in countless forms. Why am I here? Think about it. Children often ask questions that pierce to the core of existence. Why is the sky blue? Where do we go when we die? What is the purpose of life? These questions are not random curiosities. They reveal the natural pull of the human spirit toward meaning. As we grow older, the questions don't disappear. They simply get buried under layers of routine, work, and survival. Yet the longing never fades. Every human being carries this silent hunger. Some try to feed it with possessions, others with recognition, power, or endless activity. For a while, it seems to work. Success distracts us. Comfort soothes us. Achievements give us temporary satisfaction. But the hunger always returns, because nothing external can fully nourish the inner call for meaning. You can see this truth in every corner of life. Look at those who seem to have it all. The celebrities, the tycoons, the leaders. Many of them, despite their wealth and fame, fall into despair, addiction, or disillusionment. Why? Because material abundance cannot replace spiritual fulfillment. Without meaning, even the brightest lights eventually burn out into darkness. And it is not just the famous or the wealthy who feel this. The factory worker, the teacher, the student, the parental carry the same longing. It is woven into our very being. We are not only creatures of survival, chasing food, shelter, and comfort. We are seekers of truth, designed to search for purpose beyond ourselves. This hunger is a gift, though it doesn't always feel like one. It unsettles us. It stirs restlessness. It refuses to let us settle for mere existence. Instead, it invites us to dig deeper to uncover what truly matters, what makes our lives worth living. When you recognize that this hunger for meaning is not a weakness, but a compass, everything changes. Instead of numbing it, you begin to listen. Instead of running from it, you start to follow. And slowly, step by step, it can lead you toward a life that is not just successful, but truly significant. So, if you have ever felt restless, empty, or unsatisfied even after achieving what you thought you wanted, know this: you are not broken. You are being called to rise above the surface. Called to search for your deeper why. Because at the heart of being human lies this undeniable truth. We are wired not just to live, but to live with purpose. Chapter 3. How purpose shapes our decisions and destiny. Every choice you make carries weight. Some choices seem small: what to eat, how to spend your free time, whether to pick up the phone or ignore the call. Others appear monumental: choosing a career, a partner, a place to live. Yet beneath all of these lies a silent force that shapes them more than logic, more than circumstance, more than chance. That force is purpose. When you know your purpose, decision-making takes on a different clarity. It's as though you hold a compass in your hand. Instead of wandering endlessly, you can sense which direction aligns with your deepest truth. You stop asking what will impress others, and begin asking, what will fulfill my mission? Think of the times when you acted without clear purpose. Maybe you said yes when you wanted to say no. Maybe you stayed in a job, a relationship, or a habit long after it stopped feeding your soul. Without purpose, decisions are reactive. We are pulled by the expectations of others, by fear of judgment, by temporary comfort. We drift, and in drifting we lose ourselves. But when purpose becomes the lens, even difficult decisions gain meaning. Sacrifices stop feeling like losses and start feeling like investments. The late nights, the long hours, the uncomfortable growth, they transform into steps on the path of destiny. Because you know what you are moving toward, and that knowledge fuels you in ways nothing else can. Purpose also shapes not only your present decisions, but your future. It sets in motion a chain reaction. A single choice rooted in purpose can change the trajectory of your life. Imagine the writer who decides to publish their truth instead of hiding in fear. Suddenly, readers across the world are touched. Imagine the entrepreneur who chooses to solve a problem that matters. Instead of chasing quick profit, an entire community benefits. Purposeful decisions ripple outward, shaping not just one destiny, but many. Even in the smallest daily actions, purpose whispers. Do you scroll endlessly through distractions? Or do you take a step toward your vision? Do you shrink back when opportunity knocks? Or do you answer with courage? Each moment holds a fork in the road, and each fork is influenced by whether or not you are living aligned with your why. Perhaps the most powerful truth is this: purpose transforms fear. Decisions that once felt paralyzing become manageable. When you know what you're here for, you can endure uncertainty, criticism, and even failure, because you understand that failure is not the end, it's feedback on the path toward your destiny. Purpose doesn't erase struggle, but it redeems it. It gives suffering a context, growth a meaning, and success a soul. Without it, even victories feel hollow. With it, even struggles feel sacred. So let me ask you, are you making decisions based on comfort or on calling? Are you shaping a life that looks good from the outside, or one that feels true on the inside? Because at the end of it all, it is not chance, luck, or even talent that defines destiny. It is alignment, and alignment is born from living with purpose. Chapter 4. Finding your unique calling. There comes a moment in life when the question grows louder than all others. What am I truly here to do? It doesn't arrive the same way for everyone. For some, it whispers in childhood, hidden in the things that spark joy. For others, it appears after years of chasing success, only to feel strangely empty. And for many, it surfaces in the quiet hours, when the noise of the world fades and the soul asks to be heard. Your unique calling is not something you invent. It is something you uncover. It has been with you all along, woven into your experiences, your struggles, your talents, and your deepest longings. But like a treasure buried under years of dust, it requires patience, courage, and honesty to reveal. You may wonder, how do I find it? Start by noticing what moves you. Pay attention to the moments when you lose track of time, when energy flows effortlessly, when your heart feels alive. These are not accidents. They are signals. Purpose often hides in the very activities where passion and contribution intersect. Sometimes your calling emerges from your wounds, the pain you've endured, the challenges you've survived. These can become the soil for your greatest mission. The person who once felt voiceless may feel called to help others speak. The one who experienced scarcity may feel driven to create abundance, not just for themselves, but for their community. Life has a way of turning suffering into service, if we are willing to listen. But purpose also requires courage, because to follow your calling often means stepping away from the familiar. It may mean leaving behind expectations, traditions, or the safe path others laid out for you. This can be frightening, yet what is scarier than living a life that isn't yours? Do not fall into the trap of thinking your calling must be grand or world-changing in visible ways. Purpose is not always about standing on a stage or building an empire. Sometimes it is about raising a child with love, caring for a friend in need, writing words that reach just one heart. What makes it unique is not the scale, it's the alignment with who you are. Here is the paradox. The more personal your calling, the more universal its impact. When you live true to yourself, you give others permission to do the same. Your authenticity becomes a light in a world full of masks. So if you feel lost, take heart. Your calling is not hiding from you, it is waiting for you to slow down, to pay attention, and to trust. Ask yourself, what do I love? What breaks my heart? What can I give? Then listen, not with impatience, but with openness. And when you catch even a glimpse of it, don't dismiss it. Honor it, protect it, begin to walk in its direction, even if your steps are small, because purpose is not discovered in a single moment. It is revealed through the courage of living into it. Day by day, one day, you will look back and realize your calling was never a destination, it was the path itself, the path that shaped you, transformed you, had allowed you to give your truest gift to the world. Chapter 5. Living with Purpose in Daily Life. Many people believe that living with purpose means making one grand decision that will forever define their lives. But purpose isn't only found in monumental choices or bold leaps, it is woven into the fabric of ordinary days. The truth is, you don't live with purpose once in a lifetime. You live with purpose, moment by moment. Think about your mornings. When you open your eyes, do you reach for your phone? Or do you take a breath, and remember why you're here. Living with purpose often begins in the smallest rituals, setting an intention before the day begins, reminding yourself that today is not just about surviving, but about creating, serving, and becoming. Purpose shows up in how you speak to others. A kind word to a stranger, a moment of patience with a coworker, a smile to someone who feels unseen. These may seem small, but they are not insignificant. When aligned with purpose, even a single word can ripple through another person's life. Like a stone cast into still water, it also shows up in how you handle challenges. Life will always present obstacles, delays, and disappointments. But when you live with purpose, you don't see these as interruptions. You see them as part of the path. Each struggle becomes an opportunity to grow stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. Living with purpose doesn't require perfection, it requires presence. It is not about controlling every outcome, but about showing up fully for the life in front of you. That means paying attention, noticing the beauty in the mundane, and remembering that every choice is a chance to align with what matters most. Sometimes, living with purpose means slowing down. We live in a world obsessed with speed, productivity, and constant motion. But purpose isn't measured by how much you achieve. It's measured by how deeply you live. A quiet dinner with loved ones, a walk in nature, time spent listening instead of speaking. These simple moments can carry profound meaning when approached with intention. And here is a powerful truth. When you live each day with purpose, your life becomes a teaching. People notice. They may not always say it, but they feel it. Your calm in chaos, your integrity in temptation, your joy in the ordinary. All of these become silent invitations for others to remember their own calling. So don't wait for the perfect job, the perfect opportunity, or the perfect moment to start living with purpose. Purpose is not something far away. It is here in this breath, in this choice, in this very moment. Ask yourself daily, how can I align my actions with my deepest values today? How can I make this one ordinary day a reflection of the extraordinary gift of life? The answer doesn't need to be loud or dramatic. Sometimes it's as simple as being fully present with your family, writing one page in your journal, giving your best effort at work, or choosing gratitude over complaint. Because purpose isn't just about what you do, it's about how you do it. And when every day becomes an expression of your purpose, your life itself becomes a living masterpiece. Chapter 6. The Power of Purpose in Overcoming Challenges. Life will test you. No one escapes this truth. There will be storms that shake your faith, losses that break your heart, and setbacks that make you question your worth. But here lies the difference between those who crumble and those who rise. Purpose acts like an anchor in turbulent seas. When everything else feels uncertain, your job, your health, your relationships, purpose gives you something solid to hold on to. It reminds you that no matter how fierce the winds, you are not drifting aimlessly. You have direction. Think of people who endured unimaginable hardships, yet found the strength to keep going. Survivors of wars, people who lost everything yet rebuilt. Individuals who faced rejection countless times before finally succeeding. What kept them from surrendering? It wasn't luck or talent alone. It was the conviction that their life had meaning, that their story was not finished. Purpose doesn't erase pain. It transforms it with purpose. Suffering becomes a teacher, not a tormentor. Challenges stop being punishments and start becoming pathways to growth. Instead of asking, "Why me?" you begin to ask, "What is this here to teach me? How can I grow through this?" When you know why you are here, obstacles become milestones rather than dead ends. The failures that once discouraged you turn into stepping stones toward mastery. The losses that once felt unbearable reveal deeper layers of strength and compassion. Within you, purpose also fuels resilience. Imagine two runners on a marathon course. One is running just for the sake of finishing. The other is running to raise money for a cause that could save lives. Who do you think will push harder when exhaustion hits. Purpose creates stamina. It gives you a why bigger than your pain. This is why people with clear purpose often achieve the seemingly impossible. They are not stronger by nature, but they are stronger in spirit. Purpose is what gives them the courage to take one more step when everything inside screams to stop. But purpose is not only about grand struggles, it helps in everyday battles too. When you feel stressed at work, when you face conflicts in your relationships, when your goals take longer than you hope, purpose steadies you. It whispers, "This is part of your journey. Stay the course." And here's something profound. Challenges don't just test your purpose, they refine it. A trial can strip away illusions, forcing you to see what truly matters. You may discover that your old goals were too shallow, that your sense of self was tied too tightly to things that can be lost through pain. You are invited to step into a deeper, more authentic purpose. Purpose is not only the reason is the reason you rise stronger. Every scar can become a symbol of resilience. Every failure, a seed of wisdom. Every heartbreak, a doorway to compassion. So the next time you are tempted to give up, pause. Ask yourself, what is the purpose behind this struggle? What greater strength is being born in me right now? Remember this, storms will come, but they do not last forever. And when the sky is clear, you will find that you are not the same person who entered the storm. You will be stronger, wiser, and more aligned with the path you are meant to walk. Because in the end, the power of purpose is not that it removes obstacles, it's that it transforms obstacles into the very stepping stones toward your destiny. Chapter 7. When purpose meets abundance. What happens when purpose and abundance finally meet? Something extraordinary. Most people chase abundance as if it were the ultimate goal: wealth, recognition, comfort, freedom. Others chase purpose, sometimes at the expense of material stability, thinking they must choose between meaning and prosperity. But the truth is this: real abundance is born when purpose and prosperity walk hand in hand. Purpose gives direction, while abundance provides fuel. Without purpose, abundance can feel empty, a bank account full, yet a heart still restless without abundance. Purpose can feel like a dream, too heavy to carry a vision alive, but no resources to make it real. Together, they create harmony, each amplifying the other. Think of it this way: purpose is the compass, abundance is the wind. A ship with no compass drifts aimlessly, and a compass with no wind stands still. But when both unite, the journey becomes powerful and unstoppable. When you live with purpose, abundance flows more naturally. Why? Because people are drawn to authenticity. They trust and support those who move with clarity and conviction. Opportunities seem to find you when your purpose shines brightly. Abundance is not simply forced into existence, it is attracted by the magnetic power of a purposeful life. And abundance itself, when guided by purpose, becomes sacred. Money is no longer just a tool for survival or status, it becomes an instrument for impact. Success is no longer just about personal gain, it becomes a way to uplift others, to serve a vision greater than yourself. This is why some of the most fulfilled people are not those who have the most, but those who align what they have with who they are. Their businesses, their art, their relationships all flow from a deep sense of mission. And because of that alignment, abundance does not corrupt them. It magnifies them. But here is the subtle truth. Abundance is not limited to money. It is joy, love, time, energy, opportunities. When you pursue life with purpose, you naturally cultivate these forms of abundance too. You feel richer not because you own more, but because you are more. And when purpose and abundance merge, generosity becomes effortless. You are not giving out of guilt or obligation, you are giving out of overflow. You recognize that abundance multiplies when it is shared, and that every act of giving is an act of living your purpose more fully. This is the integrated life, a life where you no longer separate the spiritual from the material, the inner calling from the outer expression. It is a life where you rise each morning knowing that your work, your wealth, your relationships, and your choices all echo the same truth. I am here for a reason, and I have everything I need to fulfill it in the end. When purpose meets abundance, life stops being a struggle between meaning and money, spirit and success. It becomes a dance where you move with grace, guided by purpose, carried by abundance. And the beauty of this dance is that it doesn't just transform you, it transforms everyone around you. Your life becomes proof that true wealth is not a compromise, but a union of soul and substance, calling and capacity, love and legacy. Final reminder, awakening the fire within. Every journey must come to a close. But this one is not an ending, it is a beginning. We have walked together through the landscapes of emptiness and meaning, through the struggles of misaligned living, and the triumphs of purposeful existence. And now, as we stand here, one truth rises above them all. Purpose is the fire that transforms everything it touches. When you live without purpose, life feels heavy. Success is fleeting, wealth is hollow, and even the brightest moments seem to fade too quickly. But when you awaken to your purpose, the world changes, not because the world itself shifts, but because you do. You begin to see challenges not as punishments, but as invitations. You see abundance not as an accident, but as a response to your alignment. You see yourself not as a small figure lost in the chaos of life, but as a powerful soul with a calling that only you can fulfill. Purpose gives meaning to your past strength, to your present, and vision to your future. It whispers to you in quiet moments, reminding you that you were never here by chance. It burns within you, urging you to rise, to give, to create, to love, to serve. And when you answer that call, your life becomes more than existence, it becomes a legacy. So I ask you now, what will you do with this fire within? Will you let it flicker, waiting for the right time? Or will you feed it, breathe into it, and let it light your path today? Because the truth is this, you don't need to wait for the stars to align, for the perfect plan, for the approval of others. You already carry everything you need. The compass of purpose is inside you. The wind of abundance is around you. All that remains is for you to set sail. And as you do, remember, your purpose is not just for you. It is for the people who will be touched by your light, for the lives that will be lifted by your courage, for the world that will be reshaped by your love. This is the invitation. This is the challenge. This is the gift. Awaken the fire within. Live your purpose fully, and step boldly into the abundant life that has been waiting for you all along. Thank you for spending this moment with Awaken Light Audio. If something today touched your heart or opened your mind, don't keep it to yourself. Share your thoughts in the comments. What spoke to you most? Tell us about your journey, your questions, your breakthroughs, and let us know what you'd love to hear next. Subscribe to stay connected. And if this message could uplift someone you care about, send it their way, because light grows when it's shared. Until next time, stay present, stay awakened, and keep becoming who you're meant to be.